All right, so
Homebrew with
homeroom
smooth.
move. Boy, this is. Hey, so look, this my boy Kevin again. You know what I'm saying?
With the
Salty
kosher
ass,
salt.
salty ass nigga. So look, and I'm smooth. This is homeroom again. This is homeroom with smooth. And yeah, we finna just get this thing going right now. Oh, great. So also, my guy, my friend Alan, he'll be jumping in momentarily. He just said he's hopping on, so y'all be seeing him jump in a second.
Listen, if y'all want to do the Salt Bay in real life, you gotta have kosher salt. The reason that you could pick it up like this, you could, you know what I'm saying? You gotta
This
let me do this one more time for y'all, man, so y'all can see. You gotta do the Salt Bay in real life. That's a little bit too much salt now. I'm gonna stop. But I
yeah,
gave y'all a
you're gonna need to
demonstration.
brush some of that off. You're gonna need to brush some of that off. You gonna have to
Nah,
brush
it's
it
all
off.
right.
You have to brush it
It's gonna
off.
be all right.
Oh man. Shoot, man.
They gonna love the entertainment, bro.
Oh yeah. This free entertainment, man. But basically,
Basically.
like, so everyone is aware. You know what I'm saying? This is what our topics is for today. So look, we finna talk about that Bella Thorne and the OnlyFans stuff. We're gonna talk about Big Sean Detroit 2 album predictions. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then we're gonna jump into why in the world the police are offering Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend
I
a
saw
plea
that.
deal to say that he that she was part of some organized crime syndicate or whatever.
You know why? Because they need to justify her
Look,
shooting.
yes. We're gonna talk about that on the topic. Like
We got it. We
on
got
the
it.
topic. And then lastly, we're gonna talk about the whole thing with Joe Budden and Charlemagne the God. That's basically what's gonna happen. That's basically what's gonna happen here. So without further ado, is there a password? No, there's no password.
Tell them to click the link, nigga. Click the link and you don't have to type in the password. If he did not get the link and he just got a meeting ID, there's a possibility it was a password. If you set one, you need to like check the settings because by default that is enabled.
No, I didn't set one.
But by default it's enabled and it'll give you a
Oh,
randomized password.
It is.
Yeah, by default. That's for security purposes.
Okay.
Hey man, you in my camera feed.
I gotta click. Where's that at? Oh, okay. I found the meeting ID. 56.
Hey man, I'm on the Zoom call. Can you move out the way? I can handle it. No, you good. All right, I'm just talking shit. You good. Yeah, man. You gotta copy the details to him.
Yeah, I just dropped it in the chat. I dropped it in the chat.
Anyway, while this nigga get his shit together, I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm doing. Here, I'm making some Parmesan crusted chicken. Hold on, I ain't got my camera on no more.
No, you don't. You don't.
I'm making some Parmesan crusted chicken with some carrots, some roasted carrots, roasted green beans. You know, you just cut your green bean. You really ain't gotta cut the green beans. Just wash them off. Put a little oil on the baking sheet, right? And go ahead and get you some carrots. Trim your carrots. Cut your carrots into green bean sized pieces. Get your chicken here. Put you some kosher salt on there, like I was just doing. You know what I mean? Get some salt and pepper on there. And then, you know, I already got the vegetables in the oven, but I'm gonna put some Caesar dressing on the top of these chickens, and I'm gonna coat them with some Italian breadcrumbs and some Parmesan. It's Italian breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, Parmesan, and olive oil. And that's it, man. That's it.
Chef Homeboy ID.
Yeah, you can put some pepper on there too. I mean, not, yeah, I already said pepper.
Yeah, if you want some extra flavor, you know what I'm saying, don't throw in that lemon pepper.
Yeah, lemon pepper. Hey, that's not a bad idea, bro. I ain't putting no lemon pepper on there, but shit, I might as well.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, nigga, I almost slipped.
Get a little zest. Yeah, I seen that. You just got to slide through that hoe. Okay, so anyway, like, so let's get it popping off with this Bella Thorne and this OnlyFans.
Lord have
That
mercy.
was wild. That's wild. Oh snaps!
All right.
Hey,
So this is my synopsis.
we good.
This is my synopsis here, bro. It seems I don't know too much about what OnlyFans has done in response. I'm still kind of researching it, but I'm pretty sure Smooth gonna fill me in on it. But judging from the comments that I've seen on Twitter and the reactions on social media, it seems like a lot of y'all bitches are mad Bella Thorne made $2 million in one day, and that because of that, OnlyFans changed their policy. Now here's my thing on that. All right, I saw tweets all the way ranging from people saying Bella Thorne has gotten on here. Literally, the tweet said OnlyFans was a way to sustain income for legitimized sex workers who are fighting criminalization. Meanwhile, a celebrity who is LARPing, if y'all don't know what LARP is, that's live action role play. Meanwhile, a celebrity who is LARPing as a sex worker comes on and makes $2 million in one day. And I'm just sitting here looking at like, did y'all bitches really think that OnlyFans is going to sustain, provide enough income for you to pay your bills? I'm
I
just
mean,
saying. Let's just be
no,
real.
but look, no, it really has for females. Like there's a female.
Not normal.
No. She only has her conversion rate on her followers to her OnlyFans was absurd.
Mm-hmm.
She
So
only
look,
had,
Smooth's a nice guy.
including
I'm
my
the asshole.
no. So listen. Including myself, she had what in the world is going on? Okay, so anyway, including myself, she has on Twitter maybe about 15 to 20K followers.
Okay.
She made
That's
an
a lot.
OnlyFans. She made her OnlyFans.
She was getting that bread.
Her OnlyFans one night. The next morning, she woke up. She was in the top 1.4% of creators. Okay. Later on, that same day, she went to 0.04%.
Okay.
I mean, 0.4%. So she's
I'm gonna play
top,
devil's advocate.
in the top 1% of 1% of people.
So you saying
this girl had
saying,
like 10 bands. She had 10 bands in her account.
Okay, but does that make her a sex worker? Just because she blew up and she got popular on OnlyFans. So what I'm trying to say is they trying to hold on. Let me.
Okay.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Okay,
I'll just have to blame.
Go ahead.
They're trying to blame Bella Thorne for LARPing as a sex worker when she's just a celebrity. When it's like, who declared that you normal women putting your photos up were sex workers? Like, just because you got a whole bunch of followers, you got some money off of it, that means you're a sex worker and you believe that OnlyFans would be a platform to make decent revenue? Like, you may have it at one point, but it's kind of like we were talking about that Forex stuff. It's so volatile because you're just a normal person. You don't have any clout like that. You can have 20,000 followers and you can get 20,000 subscribers paying $5 a month. That's a nice, good check right there. But what makes you think that Rihanna or Bella Thorne or any other celebrity can't just hop on there and do what they did? Like, you should have been thinking about that at some point. You can't blame them for getting privy to the game and doing what any smart person would have done.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my opinion.
Okay, that's true. Now, here's the thing. There's 2 points I want to make real quick. So one, all these girls that's on there, they really not sex workers, okay? Because before
they not
before it got like really big, and stuff. There was girls on there. They were doing cosplay. You know what I'm saying? They was using it to support like their modeling pictures.
Mm-hmm.
For like it wasn't as explicit as it is now. Like. It gradually got more and more explicit as like porn stars started getting on there, and then you know what I'm saying, and then especially with coronavirus, you know what I'm saying, like they get money, you know what I'm saying. Then you had sex workers; they didn't have people that could go meet them, but they found out, hey, if I put a vibrator, you know what I'm saying, up my, you know what I'm saying, like I can get, you know what I'm saying, I can get at least. You know what I'm saying? 100 people.
The porn stars, I can't blame.
Huh?
You know, the porn stars and the girls who actually are in sex work, I can't blame. But from all this controversy on social media, it seemed like it was normal
wait. So I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get to that level. Like those people. I'm gonna get to those people. I just gotta let people know how this stuff was, and set up. We see you. You got the whole
No,
kit.
keep talking. I'm just telling shit.
Oh man, where was I at? So we had the like basically like the prostitutes, actual sex workers, they got on there to make money. They got on there to make money. Money their own way. And then you had like you had certain IG models, they got on there to make money. You know what I'm saying? But those IG models are not sex workers. Then you had the regular everyday girl, okay? And you had some that, oh, I don't have my job, you know what I'm saying? And they were probably like on the side. This is gonna sound crazy, but it's true. On the side, you know what I'm saying? Selling a little something on the side, they probably was, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, that's not sex work, but at the same time, it's like borderline. So I'm gonna give you the benefit. Yeah, all the rest.
In your opinion,
all the rest of the regular girls, it's not really sex work. You just
posting naked pictures.
You had a price point where you were willing to get naked for. You had that price point. Yes. You're not a stripper like the strippers that are actually on there. You're not a prostitute like the prostitutes that are on there. You're not a porn star like the porn stars that are actually on there. Them are the three categories for sex worker.
In other words, you're not a sex worker. Yeah, or stripper. Can you consider strippers as being a sex worker?
Now I will caveat this. There are some girls that when they got on there, you know what I'm saying, they got to be on some amateur porn stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they was actually getting knocked off on camera on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? And then they got like there's this one girl, like she made a video crying because somebody was like, you know what I'm saying? I think she sent him a DM, right, for request or whatever, like pay for this so you can see this picture. He clicks the button, he pays to see the picture, he's expecting something and does not get what he expects. So he's like, okay, I got you. So he then records all of her content, uploads it into a folder, and sends it to her father.
I'm glad you're getting here.
He sent it to her father. I said,
it brings up another point, though. Like, no! It brings up another point of mine. How secure was OnlyFans as a revenue increasing platform? If I don't know what the security is behind the app, maybe they tried to disable screenshots or whatever the fuck it is, but I guarantee that's not going to stop.
They never have.
Yeah, I mean, even if they did do that through the app, there's a way that somebody will bypass it. Mm-hmm. If somebody can subscribe to you and they could illegally take a picture of all of your content or whatever, I guess I'll say illegally here because it's against the TOS, and then they could post it online and everyone can see your content free, what do you do then? Do you remove all of that content and put new content up? Like, basically, you're compromised there from making any type of revenue. You see what I'm saying? So I think the segue into the refund policy, if people can gain access to your photos, either by screenshotting them, screen recording them, or paying for them, and then issuing a refund or getting a refund,
right?
Like, it's just, I don't think it was, this is what I meant by maybe these people should pull their content off of this platform and start their own platform, because clearly it wasn't built for them to get revenue. So to be mad at Bella Thorne because she pulled a move like this is kind of silly, because it's like this platform didn't really fight for you in the first place.
Now we get to point number 2, her and what happened. So allegedly it wasn't her actual account. It was an account pretending to be her. And they sent out a pay or one of them DMs. Like,
what about the apology that she issued, though?
So she issued an apology because when she got on the platform, now she did make a lot of money when she got on the platform.
I heard she was supposed to make a movie or some shit like that.
Allegedly, but it wasn't even a real thing. It wasn't even a real thing. It like the director came out. He said, "Look, it was a concept. I talked to her. It was a concept. I didn't even actually have it in stone. I didn't have it written out." Like, because normally when you get something written down, you know what I'm saying, you go to the Writers Guild, you get it notarized and all that stuff, so then your idea is protected. But he did not do any of that. It was a concept, and he was just talking to her.
I feel like that nigga wanted to distance himself from Bella Thorne after.
Oh, he really did. He really did. But I do feel him. Like, he probably came to her and was like, "Yo, I got this idea for this project." Mm-hmm. And
she may have jumped the gun.
Yeah, he was trying to sell it. He's trying to get people on board so then he can get funding behind the project and all that. He probably didn't even have funding or none of that. He was just had the connection and he was trying to get everything together so then he could begin production. He probably wasn't even at pre-production phase, you know? So I felt for him. Like that was good money he was going to have. That was good money.
What's the name of your boy here that just got in?
Naked, like people was gonna pay. You've seen what they already did on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like we need a third opinion here, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like we really needed some women in here and give their opinion on it.
Now, see, I tried, but I'm busy. I was like, all right, cool. And I contacted a bunch of people in advance. I ain't got time.
Just like black women.
Nah, come on now, nah. We ain't gonna.
Yeah, bro. Don't act like they don't be doing that shit. Come up with every excuse.
Come out my mouth. Y'all can go blow up.
Hey, y'all gonna blow me up.
Don't blow
I told you, I'm gonna be the asshole.
I didn't say that. Don't blow me.
You gotta have that dynamic. You gotta be having somebody that's the asshole. I'll be the asshole full-fledged.
All right. Well, I only got the last part of it of kind of what you were saying. So all I could do is based on what you're saying. So pretty much, like spin me up. So quick flip notes. So I could say it pertaining to what you guys are saying.
You want to TLDR. So quick. Here we go. So look, here's what happened. Bella Thorne got on the OnlyFans.
Allegedly.
No. She does have an account, but there was a fake account. Okay, so
yes.
There's two Bella Thorne accounts. There was a fake account created for Bella Thorne, and it what did they do? They sent people a thing to say like, oh, it's gonna be a new photo. It wasn't new, and they were pissed. They were pissed off. You know what I'm saying? And I forgot what the price tag on that photo was, but it
$100.
It ended up being $2 million made off that one photo. $2 million, and people didn't even know what was behind the door.
And it went to a scammer.
Somebody $100. You know, that's $100 raffle ticket. Like you don't know what you're getting. Like oh my God, you paid $100. Here's a banana. Like
you saying it was a scammer?
Yeah, basically. And they got away with it. And so what happened is OnlyFans then had to issue refunds, and then they put a policy in place that now instead of people being able to cash out immediately or in the next 3 business days or whatever, like now people in some places got to wait 30 days, and in other places people got to wait 10 days, you know, to get their money.
So are we talking about the new policy or how people got scammed or what do you want me to chime in on?
So it's the full totality of it all. Like
whole totality is the thing is that, OnlyFans, one, they should have known because this is why, and I'll put it this way: eBay, Twitter, Instagram, they all have verified accounts. So and they verify people. And the thing is, and all I can say is people, and I can't say people, guys are thirsty. So dudes are thirsty, and so they jumped the gun without doing the research. So in my opinion, honestly, OnlyFans don't even need to issue a refund, only because they paid for a picture, and it was false advertising, but it's the same thing. Like you know, that's the thing, because it was an unverified account, and like if this was 2006. 2005, I'd be like, you know what? I'd be on the bandwagon of OnlyFans needs to own up. But the fact that is, we know that there's verified accounts, and maybe I need to go more into OnlyFans and to see how it is, because I'm not a member, to see if they actually have verified accounts. But it's like that's but
so my opinion to this though was in regards to what you're saying with the refund. You don't think OnlyFans should issue refund? I think because of the content that's uploaded on OnlyFans, a refund policy would actually be dangerous to these quote unquote sexual.
Well, no, and that's because I remember that part too. And the thing is, now we have a refund policy where now it's okay. So I could get a picture, and the thing is, like, I know you were saying it earlier, and it was there's gonna be a way to record it no matter what. Even if it's a screenshot from my phone to your phone, if they disable everything on there or my computer like that, there's gonna be a way to record things. So now you're able to go get the content and within like 48 hours say, oh, this is not what I wanted. And especially now if we do go into those verified accounts, are those high traffic accounts, and so then you're able to do it once and then throw it out there. That's where and that's the issue refunds. So now like where does refunds come from?
Right.
Because it's like it would be different if OnlyFans was going out of their own pocket for the refunds, but now they have the refund policy where now they're saying, hey, you have to wait 10 days, 20 days, even if it's 5 days to cash out. If you have to do that, then so now it's like this person's making this video or whatever content it could be, and it doesn't even have to be explicit. It could be like your podcast. You can throw your podcast on there, and now someone goes and they get it like, oh, I don't want it. They rip it and then they put it out there for free, and that costs your revenue. So and I know everything's different, but you have to go on that route, like for like all the content they have on there. I think for everybody, for the explicit stuff and the non-explicit stuff.
Okay, so I think the problem lies in the DM stuff, like not just your page. The page material you pay for it, you're not gonna get a refund. Once you pay for that page and you're like, yo, I want to see her stuff, you're not gonna get a refund there. What happens is those direct DMs. If you say, hey, open this, it's me naked. Or open this.
I still haven't heard that it was a fake account, by the way.
Me like doggy style or whatever it was.
But if it's a direct message, you can't monitor that though.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing though. Okay, let's say they don't issue the refund. It's cheaper to issue the refund than it is to go to court about that.
Well, the thing
who's going to go to court? What's in the TOS?
It's like those. No, it's like those Nigerian princes. That's exactly what it is. Like I can go on Facebook right now and say, hey, here's a photo of this, pay me this, and if you give me the money first and I give you the link and it's the wrong link, that's on you. And that's that's it.
Basically, you're saying OnlyFans should take responsibility for people getting duped.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's the thing. It's 2020. Like I said, if it was 2005, I would think differently. But like, how long has that Nigerian prince scam been going on, and people are still falling for it?
Oh yeah, people still getting matched.
Well, and that's what happened. So like, if someone who I don't know is going out of my way, especially Bella Thorne or anybody like that too. Hey, coming out of my way. Hey, go look at let me show you this picture of this. Here's this link. It's like, well, if you're giving me a link, or if you're going to give me a link for it and not a file, one, it's going to be online anyway because it's 2020. We can search for it.
Yeah.
Are you waiting for it to get verified? So especially if it's
Alan,
on a direct message card. Yeah.
Right. Right. So,
I like you. You're very intelligent. I'm gonna have to roll out of here though, but we're gonna do this again. I'm sorry, guys.
No, every Thursday is good enough because we're doing at work because they're getting ready to do some training, and it's a last-minute cluster, and especially because we're having this 4-day weekend, so that's what took me so long to get on.
Yeah. I understand.
All right, I'm gonna catch y'all the next time. All right.
All right, man.
Y'all keep it up. I'm gonna watch it.
All right.
Please.
Yeah. All right. So and now then there were two. This happens every time. It happens every time. Start off like that, and then boom, like there were two. So I think the last point before I move on to something else. I think the last point of that is like, I wanted to let you know, like, it's not a link. It's literally like one of those, you know how iPhone has those messages where like you can kind of like rub on it and it kind of like it like blurs it or whatever, right? All except this thing is like if you click the link and you pay, it unblurs the image. Yeah. And it's all contained on the site itself. It's not like yeah.
But I get it, and I think the only thing that OnlyFans should do for the future, because and this is the part where I say that they messed up, is because Twitter and even eBay is doing it. You need to have some verified accounts now, especially for something that big. But especially if it's a direct message, I mean, that's the fault of the user.
Right. I think they honestly may have had plans for that, but they got caught off guard with this sudden wave and influx of people on there.
Oh no, I definitely get it, and
I didn't know OnlyFans existed till 2020 and like what was that, April?
Yeah, no,
That was a thing.
Yeah, no, I definitely get it, and I think they're probably trying to, and they're probably trying to just keep their platform, which is why they're issuing refunds, because they don't want people to get turned off on it and let the next competitor come up. Because I mean, you lose your goodwill, everybody moves on to something, which I don't think will happen. But I think they're more worried about that. But my thing is, it's like, especially if it wasn't even content that someone was hosting, it was someone reaching out to get people. That's that to me, that's like saying, hey, Google, somebody gave me this link through Gmail about some person, to save some person far out. You need to give me a refund. I guess that's what I equate it to, which is why that's where I think OnlyFans, like, good on them for trying to make things right, but I don't think they should be held liable for it.
Yeah. They yeah. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so our next topic is, my bad. Oh, this app is pissing me off. Man, this other, like, I'll talk about it later. So anyway, so now topic number 2. So do you listen to Big Sean?
Yeah, I listen to Big Sean.
Yeah, so his Detroit 2 album is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard any of like the previews and all that?
I actually have not.
You haven't heard none of the previews, none of the song singles, none of it?
For Detroit 2? No, I have not. I'm waiting for it to drop just to.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I think he's on live right now as we're recording, like playing it. Like, but it's kind of crazy. I'm like, bro, why are you playing your whole album before, like, this far before it comes out? Like, I can understand, like, once your album is available, you start a live, or you start a little live stream a little ahead of time, and then your album becomes available. You say, everybody go download my album, and then you start playing it in it full. But like, that's what he's doing. And like every track I done heard is good. Like, the bars, like, there's no wasted space on there. Like, this is the best Big Sean has ever been rapping, ever. Like, and it's kind of crazy. I'm like, this dude he's slick, trying to give us a classic little album. I think that's his goal. This might be as good as Dark Sky Paradise.
No, and based on that, because I have heard, this is actually like an album, kind of like a throwback, where there's not, like you said, not wasted space, not a wasted track. I've seen him, like, he's been, he's inviting other people, like, even Stevie Wonder, and Eminem for Detroit too. So like I said, I'm excited to listen to it more when I have more time, because I've been back and forth lately. So like, literally, like, if I haven't downloaded, like, on my phone, because I've been on planes back and forth, I haven't been listening to it, which is part of the reason why I haven't been listening to it much, or at all, I should say. I think I'll take it a different way. I think artists now, they're going back to how it was, because unfortunately, I will say this, for the most part, iTunes ruined albums.
Yeah.
So because you see it, and growing up like that, and I'm not even talking about LimeWire or everything. I'm talking about iTunes specifically, because what they do is they have an album on there, and they show you the most popular track. And the thing is, like, okay, and then because you remember before, and I'll say it with Ludacris is famous of it. So Chicken and Beer, back for the first time and everything, he had those interludes. And the thing was, it was funny that iTunes priced those interludes at the same price as a song.
Right.
So people they'd go in and they would get their song, and they'd say, "Oh, I can't afford this whole thing, so I'm buying it piece by piece." And then they would but what happens is, you buy the most popular songs first, and then you stop buying them. So then I think artists got wise and like, oh, I only need like 3 songs if that. Let me feature someone on there too. And then I have noticed it with Big Sean, with Eminem's last album and everything too, and even Kanye's, even though it was a smaller little feature on there, that it was more well-rounded.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I think music's kind of going back to the way it is, way it was, and I'm not sure if that's because of well, I mean, I think the whole market's changing again. And now with all the streaming services and everything, they're putting exclusive content with their albums.
Right. And I feel like a lot of people, since there's so much content, your album has to be really, really good and have staying power, and people got to want to come back.
Exactly.
If you don't have something where people want to come back to it, like, it's a wrap. Like, you might as well just call it a day.
Yeah, and like they said too, like, if your whole album's not good, you're buying that one song and that's all.
Mm-hmm.
And now, especially, you know, with Spotify, Apple Music, all, you know, YouTube Music, all this, and how you're able to listen to music on YouTube. Because I know people like at work, you know, they're listening to YouTube Music all day, you know, and you're able to just, you know, kind of get what you want. So for someone to stay on your playlist, that's what you have to do. And I think that's a kind of a on that. And since I guess Big Sean, he's I can't say a new artist. He's a newer artist. No, like newer, not because but what happens is
he's not a legacy act, but he's not. Yeah.
Well, and that's my point. So now he has to build his portfolio because the thing is, if you say, hey, Big Sean's greatest hits versus, you know, and I'll just throw it out there because I'm still surprised he's still making good music. Eminem, you know, the list is here to here. So if someone sees that, it's like, or you say, hey, I'm going to play this. He wants to get more hits in there when you listen to a genre, because that's what people do. They throw on a genre, they throw on a playlist, you know, that whatever makes it, and which means you have to have that whole album to keep on getting the hits to keep you relevant too. Because I think that was the one thing, you know, like, and I can't say I love all Eminem's albums, but and especially he had that lull in the middle, but like his newer content, and I guess since he kind of reinvented himself to stay relevant, so his catalog is pretty big. So now it's kind of like you can't escape it. And even, you know, and I think that's kind of what separated him from even like all the artists from his time, you know, like the 50 Cents, you know, G Unit, even to a lesser extent Ludacris, because Ludacris he kind of front loaded, and now Ludacris is gone, you know. So that's another way where he can't really stay relevant either, because he has something new. And I think some of these artists that, like you said, that they're not legacy, and I don't consider Eminem a legacy yet, but he has that big portfolio to keep him relevant. So then he has the benefit of those older albums too. So then, you know, so you have kids now, because like listening to Eminem Godzilla, or that Venom song, and then they listen to other stuff with him and like, oh, I didn't know this was him. And I think, you know, and even to a lesser extent Drake, because Drake's catalog is getting pretty big because of all his features too. So, and that's the thing, like, if you can't feature, you need to do it all on your own, and that's what I respect about him.
So
about Big Sean,
I'm like a huge Drake fan. So I have a playlist that literally has every Drake song and every Drake feature that's on Apple Music on one playlist. I literally went out, found them all. I even found some Mexican song he did back in 2012. Okay, people don't even know he did it, but he did do this song. So he's been doing that. There's like, I think it's like 300. It's like 300 something songs total. 300 total.
Which is crazy.
Which is
it is.
In about 10 years? That's crazy.
No, that's what I'm saying, and that's crazy. And the thing is too, because he has that throughput also, and I think, you know, and that's why, like, it's kind of funny, because I just you know, I kind of look at his career and how it marries with other people and how he features with people too. But like I said, because he has that, especially those feature songs, he has that crossover. So then it's like, oh, you're listening to one song, and now it's like, I'm gonna go and now I'm gonna go over here, and that's what, like, I know it's like different outlets, because even like Selena Gomez, you know, she's like, oh, like, you know, I'm doing this, but, you know, and then she had her one that one group, and then she was with the Cataracts, and then she's with Big Sean, you know, but it's like she's getting that appeal over, so to stay relevant in those lists. Because like you said, like you know, like we both said, if you don't have a full album, you know, you're going to get forgotten really fast now because of all the other options that people have too. And people like Drake, they'll eat you up because Drake is everywhere.
Yeah. Like when people like, because Kendrick Lamar just shot a music video, which is kind of crazy while we on this music tip. Like, he just shot a music video. They caught him wherever he was in LA, with a full sweater on. I'm like, bro, it's like 90 degrees, fam. Like, you have on a full sweater. Like, you ain't fooling nobody. We know you hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he found a payphone. I'm like, they still got those? Like, so yeah, he was out.
You know they brought it with them to just for that video. They're like,
I had to. But I'm like, nah, ain't no way no payphone. And it works.
that's a prop, man.
Yeah. So like when people like him, J. Cole, Drake drop, like it just sucks all the air out the room. Like your whole album does not matter, which is kind of crazy to say. Your album does not matter. Like Beyonce drop, your album does not matter. Jay-Z drop, your album don't matter.
But I think
everybody is over here. Like your album over here, everybody's over there.
No, but I think that's the point of having like a full-fledged album, because then when you get some air in there, you're able to go. You could go back to it and hear something else to make your album new again, and then you go back to the whole album, which is I think, and that's how music used to be. Because I'll even say this, because my first album or my first CD that I ever bought was for me, and I remember was it Chronic 2001. Yeah, that's the first one I bought. And I remember I bought it for Forgot About Dre. That's the only reason why I bought that CD. And I remember because I just remember because I was going to Texas. And then my second CD I bought was D12 Devil's Night. And then after that I started getting more into music, going that way. So you could say I'm skewed towards Aftermath. And then but then and that's the thing, I remember going back because even like my mom, she had like the Marshall Mathers LP, And I heard was it? It's Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dre. What song was that? Oh, was it Bitch Please? Exhibit. And I was like, oh, what? And I was like, what? Like, so I'm like, oh, you got this album? She's like, no, what's on this? So then I was able to go discover that album, and then doing that, I learned about Nate Dogg, and then so I'm hopping between my albums, finding out other songs, and then that's why I realized like Chronic 2001 has so many good songs on there that that especially like I didn't know about first, so I was able to go back and rediscover it for years after I bought it. And the same thing with the Marshall Mathers LP, same, and even like to a lesser extent like the first Devil's Night, because everybody bought it for Purple Pills. And then it's like, okay, and you listen like to other stuff, and even Jay-Z, he liked the Black Album too. Everybody bought the Black Album for 99 Problems, but then then you learn about Change Clothes, and then you start going to this other stuff too, which is like it makes old albums new again. So hopefully with this, even when it gets pushed to the side, other stuff can make a comeback and get other singles on it.
Right. Do I have anything else to say on this topic? I don't think I do.
Music videos suck and they're a waste of time. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, but I do want to give my prediction on Big Sean's album. I think over time, this is gonna have some really great rapping on it, and it's gonna be another classic in Big Sean's catalog. It's gonna be another classic because I think his only other classic is Dark Sky Paradise. Like that album, no matter when you turn it on, it's a good album.
Yeah.
Through and through, from front to back. Like no skips. I'm not skipping nothing. I'm like, yo, this is all. I can listen to this. I think this will be another one. I'm not saying it's gonna be as good as it. I'm just saying it quality wise, it's gonna be there.
I think quality wise it will, especially with what he's saying, like Eminem, Stevie Wonder, like even with those two and who he's featured with, it's in a even if it's not a classic, it's gonna be good and it's gonna be something different, which is always good, and it will keep you coming back. So I think and maybe over time different things will come up, and you got Cash Kid, Payroll. I mean, there's a lot of people on there for a style for everybody, because I think even they said like Jeezy and Snoop Dogg are gonna be on it too.
No.
Or no, is that oh no, that was his old album. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So,
but
like there's like Voice to Find. Hold on, I got the image saved to my phone. I'll tell you who's on it. Real quick. I made sure I saved that image.
Was it?
Oh, here we go. So here we go. Here's who's all on the album. So you got Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Post Malone, Ty Dolla $ign, Janae Aiko. You got a skit by Dave Chappelle. You got Duell. I've heard him before, but I just don't know. I don't know his music just offhand. There's Anderson .Paak, Early Mac, and Wale, Young Thug and Hit Boy, Travis Scott, Key Wayne and Diddy, 2088, which is basically he's featuring Janae Aiko. I don't even know why they do that. Then another skit by Erykah Badu. Then a feature from Lil Wayne. Then on one song, catch this. It's called Friday Night Cypher. This is gonna be the one. This is gonna be a bar fest. It's T Grizzly, Cash Doll, Cash Kid, Payroll, 42 Doug, Boldly James, Drago, Sada Baby, Royce the 5'9", and Eminem. Yeah. And then there's another skit by Stevie Wonder, and then at the end is Dom Kennedy. So yeah.
I'm looking at it right now too.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. This is gonna be a crazy one. This is gonna be one for the books. This is gonna be crazy. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be crazy and worth people time and effort. Like, so definitely go check that out when you see this video on tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. because that's setting the upload to hit. Because this gonna have to render all night. I be hating that rendering. I'm like, F it, I can't do nothing on this computer now. I'm like, I'm gonna have to just walk off. Which is why I got two computers. I have one computer that I use to play like my little flash games, and then I have this computer. Now to move to the, you know what? I'm gonna push the third topic to the last topic because I don't want that tone shift. It's gonna be really weird. So did you keep up with like what was going on between Joe Budden and Charlemagne the God? No,
I did not.
Okay, so I'm just gonna fill you in. I'm gonna tell the people, and then we can kind of like briefly discuss it, and then we can move on to the last one because I think you're more aware of the last topic. Because everybody kind of went, oh my God, like it kind of sucked the air out the room. So with Joe Budden and Charlemagne, so Joe Budden basically goes on his podcast. Mind you, I listened to the whole thing of both 2 episodes, and you know his episodes be long, but he was kicking some real stuff though. It was real stuff. So he is basically explaining how, you know what I'm saying, Spotify was trying to like basically trying to finesse them, you know what I'm saying, and get like everything, like anything that Maul was doing, anything that Roy decided to do, anything that Park decided to do, you know what I'm saying, anything else Joe Budden decided to do, they want to get money of all that. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, no, I'll give you my podcast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all didn't make the Joe Budden podcast. You know what I'm saying? We helped bring a lot of, people to your platform. Yeah, he was like, no matter who they brought to the platform, they were still the #1 podcast. They're still the #1 podcast right now. Right now, which eventually, once enough people get on here, you know what I'm saying, get on there for Joe Rogan's, like get onto Spotify for Joe Rogan's. Joe Rogan's will probably be #1. It just because it covers a wider base. And all it's probably gonna end up being #1, and he'll slide down to #2. However, they only
two is still huge too, though.
Yeah. And it's almost like saying like they're not successful because you're comparing, I don't know, like a Drake to fucking trying to think who's another artist that's relatively successful but not as big. I'm trying to think. Oh, Lil Baby. Okay, Lil Baby ain't a Drake, but everybody knows who Lil Baby is, and Lil Baby is very successful, a rapper, an artist. However, Drake is Drake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan. Joe Budden podcast is Lil Baby in this scenario. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still both really good. It's just one is just way bigger, like just by the nature of the beat. You know, and. Charlemagne was basically trying to say that, oh, they signed a bad contract, they signed a bad deal, what you mean you guys couldn't take vacation? or whatever, boo. They didn't want to let y'all off and all this other stuff. And people were paying attention to all the wrong stuff. And he was like, we weren't trying to compromise the integrity of the show. You know, we were very aware of the listener's experience, and we wanted to keep that intact. We didn't want them to backload our whole catalog with ads that we don't even know what they're putting in there. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, over a 3-hour podcast, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you're going to put all these ads in. Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Even if they did, he said the revenue split is off because the contract they were trying to give us was 8 figures. And he was like, by our metrics and our subscriber retention rate, you know, we really made y'all 9 figures because all these subscriptions that have stayed on this platform, and then all the extra subscriptions that y'all are gaining every time we put out content and every time we come up, they do what they do. Like they were making more money. You know what I'm saying? They brought in all the attention. We're the reason why we're able to go to Gilead and offer them 9 figures. They paid them $250 million for a bunch of like I think Gilead has like hundreds of podcasts or whatever. They're like a podcast farm, but none of them are even close, like even combined to Joe Budden. Yeah. Even combined, which is absurd to think about. Like you're not even close. Not even close. You know what I'm saying? The only thing y'all got is a license for Joe Rogan. Like y'all have a licensing deal. And then what else? So yeah, Charlemagne was saying all that, and he basically explained to Charlemagne, like, we're talking about ownership. If I'm the #1 podcast guy and I accept this money, I mess it up for everyone else because I cap you off. Because they say, hey, Joe Budden is the #1 guy. He was #1 for 2 years, and he took this 8-figure deal. You're not, as an individual, unless you're gonna be able to be Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to get a 9-figure deal. Yeah. You know, you're not gonna be able to get more than he got. You'd have to go above and beyond. You know, and he was just like, any deal that they tried to offer us, we had to turn it down because they were basically trying to put us in the 360. Like, he's like, I've been in music before. I've already been scammed before as an artist. This is not new to me. Like, I know what you're saying, you know, and then I know when you're changing the rules to where no one can meet those metrics. Because he was like, if I'm not hitting the metrics for a bonus, what makes you think any other podcast under me is hitting that level? Yeah. If I'm #1 and I'm not getting a bonus, nobody's going to get a bonus. So why even sign over here? You'll never get the bonus that's in your contract. Yeah. So that's basically what his rebuttal to Charlemagne was. I didn't really go catch Charlemagne's second rebuttal to what he was saying, if he did rebuttal back, but there's really not too much he could say. And then other people got to saying more stuff online, you know what I'm saying? And they got to really like saying like, yo, I think people thought like we're just doing this and we don't have a plan. Like, we do have a plan in place. You know, we know what we're doing, you know, when we turn down this money. And the thing is, we will still have ownership. We're not giving up ownership.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way. I'll put it in the sports terms, because one, anytime someone turns about a big amount of money, anyone who doesn't have it, it's going to say that people were dumb and stupid. Mm-hmm. Two, I totally get what Joe Budden's saying about capping people off, because we have that example with the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. For the longest time, 20 years or 19 years, you know, Tom Brady was overpaid his whole career. Even when he was de facto, everybody was saying he's the best quarterback in football, in his prime, and he was the best player in football, he was underpaid. So the issue with that is that if you're the best player in football and the most important position, you know, most valuable to the team, and he's taking a pay cut, or, you know, and that's what he did. So, and he capped himself out. That means other people who were the best in their position were also capping them out. So essentially, Tom Brady kind of ruined it for everybody else. But I guess there was a greater good. But in podcasting, there's not really a greater good to you know, like, it's like, because they're not taking the cut to get more talent. He's not taking the cut for better studio production because they're owning it. So they're taking a cut, and I think that's what people don't understand. But that was the issue with New England, which is why they would stay and then they would leave because it's like, they're over he went there for a ring and then he left. Because after that he's like, okay, yeah, I got my ring now, but I'm grossly underpaid for my skill set, and I think that's how that's what Joe Budden is trying to explain. But unfortunately, other people, and that's the thing. And it happens in sports all the time too. Player gets traded. It's the best for the team. Player stands up for himself. Oh, he's a selfish prick. And I think so. And people, these big corporations, they're able to turn people to say, like, and this time at Spotify, saying, "Oh, this is what they should be doing." And unfortunately, and people they don't want to read the sides. So, like, based on everything that you just told me, I'm just going to, read into it and listen to the sides. And only because it has happened before in other entertainment, other avenues, other media. That's he did the right thing. Because I can't put one in a movie example. Freaking Iron Man.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2. Because Terrence Howard, he was the highest paid actor in the first Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. broke out, so then they said, "Hey, we don't need supporting cast. We got Robert Downey Jr." So now they're saying, and because he signed a contract, they're saying, if we're gonna pay him this much, why are we gonna pay you this much? So they cut him off because they're saying because Robert Downey Jr. pretty much capped everybody else out, and then for a while, because of that, he kind of capped everybody else out in the Marvel universe, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because that's why. So and luckily people they're taking these deals and everything, and that's why luckily, like, at the time, besides Robert Downey Jr., some of these actors they were doing good things, but they weren't that greatness yet. So, but that was the issue. But even if they were, and that's the thing, like Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace for him. Yeah, he came with a pedigree. But the thing is, he was capped because of Robert Downey Jr. And we see what he did before. And it wasn't a bad thing because he was definitely, and he wanted to be a part of the role and stuff like that too. But that's what it was. Robert Downey Jr. effectively capped everybody else in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's true. And then everybody, I'll say with that example, like everybody it was their first movie, you know what I'm saying? Like they weren't getting paid like stupid money. Like they good check. They got good checks, but they weren't getting crazy money. However, when everybody was coming back to the table for like Infinity War and all that, those got checks.
But part of the reason they got checks is because guess what? Robert Downey got a new check too. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If Robert Downey Jr. accepted, I see. You know what? You're right. Because I see where you're going. Like every time Robert Downey Jr. goes up, then everybody else can get more money. Collectively. Yeah. Because he was the drawing factor.
Yeah, and
the only exception was Spider-Man because since he was contracted in, he was kind of like he was an exception because it was kind of like they had to pay Sony a certain amount, and Sony was like, "Yo, Spider-Man's worth this, and if you want him, like."
No, but Robert, but even in Far From Home, at Homecoming, he still was paid the most for his cameo, and that's.
Right. You're right. He was only on screen, I think, 20 minutes total. Maybe?
I mean, like exactly. Like I haven't seen someone make that much money, in a movie since I would say Chris Evans in Infinity War because he was on screen for maybe 3 minutes. but that's the point. And when you have and I think that's what Joe Budden is trying to tell people. It's like if I cap people out now when there's not really, there's not like a different incentive, I'm screwing everybody else over. And unfortunately, it takes people a little bit to see that, to at least get them a free deal. Because we don't know all the stuff of the deal too, but especially ad revenue. Because then say you get big, right? But of course you're not as big as him, but your podcast gets some money, and they're saying we want to split the revenue 50-50, when deals are usually like 70-30 in favor of you, but Joe Budden takes a 50-50 deal. That means you take a 50-50 deal. So it screws people over in the long term, and I think that's what he's that. So, like I said, I commend him for that, and especially having a plan and thinking about people besides himself. Because I think even if he took that deal, he would be fine. You know, because a bad deal for him is still good.
Yeah, but he was saying like he wouldn't be able to sleep at night because he felt like because he was selling more than the podcast.
Exactly.
He was selling everybody that worked with him their rights. Like they were getting like it was crazy. Like it was like okay, let's say this gets big, right? Or let's say this blew up, right?
Yes.
Now I get a check. I go in to sign this deal or whatever, right? But I'm signing away the rights. You know what I'm saying? So you got to come when I get this deal, you know what I'm saying? I'm signing away my rights, yours. You know what I'm saying? What's her name? Celine, if she get on here again, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
AJ, Kevin's, like everybody that have been on here, like all your rights, like anything you do outside of it, like they getting a check.
Yeah.
They getting a check. Like you're gonna have to cut them a check, which is insane and absurd if they had nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
You know. But yeah, that was basically it, man.
All right, let's go on your final subject. So I can go because I have to do laundry too because I'm going.
Yeah. I feel that. I seen the laundry slide by. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's that time. Okay, final subject though is basically. So Yahoo News broke this first. And I was like, yo, when I first heard it, I was like, it was just a tweet. I'm like, nah, y'all tripping. Then it came out on Yahoo, and I was like, oh, okay. I guess this has legs. This has real legs. You know what I'm saying? Like a reputable source actually put this on their front page.
Yeah.
It was the front page of Yahoo. Big, bold. So here's what happened. So Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend, in the house with her, was offered a plea deal if he would, because he shot back at the police or whatever, because they broke into his house with a warrant that wasn't even for his house. In plain clothes. On top of all of that,
I know.
If you see 3 plainclothes people that you don't know with guns busting your house, I'm sorry. If you shot all of them and they died, you are justified.
Exactly.
You can't just bust into people's house.
We will go on my thing later about that. That's all. That rant could be a podcast. I just do a rant. You can throw it on there. I'll give it to you for free. Oh man. No, don't even. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So look. If he would claim that Breonna Taylor was part of an organized crime syndicate.
Yeah.
I'm like, so this is why the AG won't fire them officers? This is what y'all had in y'all back pocket? This is what y'all was trying to do? And now he just sued them for $100 million.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
I saw that and I was sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Because and they do it all the time. They want to throw dirt on somebody who cannot defend themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really sad. And I mean, I'll take off the race card right now. I'll take off everything. And I understand it's a police officers. It's a hard job. I understand now you have all these bad cops that making good police. I'll say police officers because cop has the negative connotation. You have bad cops that make it hard for officers to do their job. I totally get that. And the thing is, they have all these rules that protect them that even when they do the wrong thing, they're at least able to get their lives together before something happens. Mm-hmm. So with all of this, why now? And it's like, I think we're like almost like a damn near, I can't say a year, but 6 months?
Yeah. We're about. I think it was 100. She said something about 150 days. So yeah, we're probably about
almost like four. We'll say a little 4 months. 4 months. 4 months later, now you're going because the thing is, if you thought she was in a drug syndicate, that would have been the first damn thing you said of when you're saying, "Hey, we finished this bust. Now we're 10 miles away and we're serving this no-knock warrant." You know, and then that's when the story changes because now they're saying they're serving a no-knock warrant. Okay, no-knock, which means you bust in and stuff's gonna go down, right? But then now they're saying, oh, we knocked on the door and announced our presence. But then it's like, okay, so it's like, which one was it? And then and the neighbors are saying, no, they didn't hear this. So now I feel like they're pulling this out, saying that, oh yeah, this EMT was now in charge of pretty much laundering money. So
Right.
that's how you want to get them off. And my thing is, fine, if you have a warrant, at least say you have probable cause, because apparently, and that's the thing, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, apparently wasn't a saint. And apparently they're saying they have this evidence saying that he was there. So if you want to use that, that's fine. And you want to try to drop it down to man, that is freaking fine. You don't have to slander. You have to slander a dead woman's name because she was doing. And that's the thing. She didn't even do anything. Right. And that's the worst part about it. It's like, so you want him. So he has a possibility to. It's not even for him to avoid prison time. You're trying to entice him with that. You want to clear your name to make these officers good. You want to slander a dead woman's name, and that is just disgusting. And like I said, you have all these things where you have, like I said, they said they have the surveillance. They knew he was there. They knew that he has a record. He shot first, so when you're serving this warrant, so you're firing back. So yes, so they have all these pieces to say that they have probable cause to be there, with quotes, because I know if it's audio they can't see that. A probable cause to be there. Mm-hmm. And they were acting as self-defense because one of the officers got shot, and then she was unfortunately collateral damage. So you could go away with, so they'll lose their job maybe, but they won't serve murder charges. But yet you want to go slander her name, and that pisses me off.
Yeah, and what's even crazier is the no-knock warrant, the person name on there, they already had that person in custody.
No, I know that too.
That is the worst fucking part of it. Like, okay, you went out to get this person. You got him. Nobody went on the radio that y'all all using going, hey, we got the guy, you know what I'm saying? Everybody come home. No, that's not what happens. No, I have a warrant for PJ. I got a warrant for PJ. All right, cool. We got PJ. Hey, everybody come home.
Yeah, but
mission over, mission complete.
But that's the thing. But they're doing this no-knock warrant, so it's and that's where I'm thinking, like, they just need to not, and that's where they need to make up their mind. They need to say, was it actually a no-knock warrant, or because if it's no-knock, you're kicking the door down and stuff's about to happen. But they're saying the cops are trained. We try to identify ourselves and do everything, and so that means it's not a no-knock warrant. And the thing is, if it's not a no-knock warrant, and you're identifying yourself, why aren't you guys in, Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what makes me so mad. And this is with me even taking race out of it, because I could go on two other things right now that and I saw one and I wish I had the video of it, but I'll go on that one in a second.
Go ahead.
It's you have all these things, and that's what I mean. They're just trying to rig the game now, and that's what pisses me off. Because the game is already tipped in your favor, and you lost, which for whatever reason, like we said, we have the guy in custody. So there could be a bunch of different things. I'm not even saying that maybe, and like you said, they got the guy already in custody. This team, and let's assume they're all good. So if we assume everything is good, everything is going kosher, they had a reason to be there, and this is where I'm taking race out of it and everything like that too. How come, like you said, when they got this other guy in custody, how come they didn't radio everybody out on patrol that night to say, oh, we got him, call up his other places, Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. So therefore, hey, accountability, yeah, officer messed up and did the wrong thing, but accountability is from the top. This is why this is why the officer messed up. And that goes with training, execution, procedures, all this thing where people say defund the police. This is why they're saying it, because the money that they're using, they're not using it correctly anyway. And right now they're trying to save the guy at the top, because the guy at the top, they're saying, oh, this is how we do it, and we don't do this, and we don't go, and when we get the guy in custody, we don't call up everybody else doing something, so collateral damage happens, which is inexcusable. Mm-hmm. So now that's why they're trying to add to it. And this is where I say cops doing the wrong thing. And unfortunately, as we see, it doesn't start with the cops on the streets on patrol doing these warrants. It starts with their leadership. It starts with everything else and this is where I go on my other one. I saw a video.
Yeah.
And you might have saw it. No, because it was on your timeline. The cop that got manslaughter instead of murder.
Mm-hmm.
For shooting the kid in the hotel room, and I think the kid was even white too. So and this is my thing. The kid is inebriated, freaking out, pants falling off. So pretty much, so he's drunk and he's a mess. So you're telling him, one, what cop makes you crawl over to him? Because I've never ever seen that
ever.
And obviously, kids having issues because you see him pull up his pants once. So, and the thing is, I've done, and I get people like that too, especially because with all the civil unrest, we've all been to training, we've all done this, we've trained with local police department, and you see like all these videos. So you see all these videos now too of people training, people going out, people doing stuff, everything. I've never seen a cop make someone crawl, and especially if they're having issues to do it. Then you'd be like, all right, lay on your face, don't move. I'm going to go apprehend you and search you there.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what I mean. So that cop, yeah. No, but even like that. And that's why the cop did the wrong thing. And for him to think that he could do that starts at the top. And that's why they need to be held accountable too, because then if that's how he's trained, because he said it, I would have done the same thing over again. So that's the issue. That is the issue, because the fact that he's programmed to think that way, he thinks it's okay, or that's the way they're trained. So that means there's something wrong with the top, and I think that's why with Breonna Taylor, they want to throw this all on her so they can save the top. So it's not about saving the officers that did the shooting, because as we see, and they probably found out that they're expendable now. They're trying to save the people at the top, and that's why like the whole system is broken. And that's why when I hit you up the other day and I say people piss me off, it's because it's like, no, the system is broken, and people are like, oh, he has the right to defend himself. It's adrenaline. It's this. It's that. I'm like, no. Obviously, they're freaking trained wrong, and they think it's okay, and that's the issue that's wrong with this crap.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I'll put it like this to wrap it in a nice little bow for everybody, make it make sense, make it plain. Okay, if you're in the middle of a war zone, okay, you still don't shoot kids. You still don't shoot civilians. You don't shoot all sorts of any standby people. None of that. You shoot the threats. That's it. Okay, you shoot the threats. You shoot no bystander, no nothing. You shoot like, because anything else is, guess what? It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And guess what happens to you? You actually get in trouble.
No, I know. There's no reason.
The police can somehow kill American citizens, and it's okay. But the thing that, no, that's to say, there's no reason why they have more protections against citizens on U.S. soil than Department of Defense employees have in war zones where people are trying to kill them. And that's where, and people, they try to say everything is isolated, and that's what makes me so mad. I'm like, it's not isolated, and they have all these things, and that's the thing too. And like, I'm thinking about it now. So, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend had the gun. He's the one who shot the officer. Mm-hmm. How the hell is he alive and she's not? Yeah. Now, yes. You see now.
Do they have stormtrooper aim?
Man. This stormtrooper wasn't hitting nothing. Stormtrooper just.
No, because there's 3 officers, and so it's like, and like, I don't know. So like, it makes me think that, was she the target?
Could have been. I mean, because it don't add up to me. It don't make sense.
No,
it makes sense to me. Like, if he's the one shooting the gun, you easily go, okay, shoot him.
Well,
Hey,
'cause
put your
that-
hands where I can see. Like, it literally, the next thing that should have been like, oh, okay, boom, they shot, they killed him. Hey, put your hands where I can see him. Then she would have like, oh my God, I can't believe you, blah, 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 blah. She should be on the news, you know what I'm saying, and then the discussion would be a lot different. The discussion would just be, can police officers serve a no-knock warrant, bust in your crib, and you know what I'm saying, and then the warrant not be for your crib and you not defend yourself, you know? Like, and then it'd be a lot. The whole thing is she had nothing to do with anything. And
exactly.
And crazier, she was just helping people at the hospital, like COVID and all this other stuff. Like, she's an essential personnel and you murked her.
No, see, and that's my thing too, because you're saying like all of this, and then I remember at first he went to jail, and they tried to get him for attempted murder on a police officer. I'm like, you broke into his house, no knock, no, you know, not the right freaking warrant, and unidentified. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if you want to get it for attempted murder, that is fine. Why are you trying to give him the higher charge of attempted murder on a police officer?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean, that we have these protections for police officers that go too far. And I'll put it, you know, like, and that's the thing, because Christopher Thorne, the LA cop, that the former Navy officer, LA cop, went on a rampage, right? And because he got upset because he fired him, he thought it was race related, everything. I'm not here or there. Because you know I'm not into that. So he went and he was actually finding cops on the street and taking him out because he's like, you know, because he got fired. And, you know, so obviously, was he right? Obviously not. So they go and they get out. They identify his truck because it's a black Toyota Tacoma, so a small pickup truck. Tell me why they go and they find this one truck without headlights, two ladies delivering newspapers. They murked this vehicle 102 times. And so, of course,
I remember that.
102 times. Wrong vehicle. And so it's like, no, you're not trying to shoot to disable. You're shooting to kill. And how did all of them keep their job? All 8 of them?
Yeah.
And then to make it worse, they got the wrong vehicle 2 more times. So the third one, they did it right because they rammed it off the road. But the second one, guess what? They shot at that vehicle too. And I'm like, and this is what it goes down to. Military members out there, you know, it's not, they can't react when they show force. They have to react when the other person uses force. These people, they're like, oh, they might maybe show force. So I'm going to just go and like that too. So they shot a vehicle 102 times without a vehicle shooting back at them. Like, what did they do? They threw a newspaper at you?
They didn't even confirm like who was in the car. It'd be different.
That's my point.
You confirm who's in the car. Oh, okay, that dude. Let him have
it. Two ladies. The second car was a white guy. I'm sorry, I need to be a Caucasian gentleman.
That's funny, but I mean, when you look up Christopher Thorne or Chris, whatever his name is,
yeah,
you look him up and you look at him, and did you see what happened? Like,
no, and that's my point. Where I had this conversation because, like I said, I've been jet setting because you know I've been feeling cool about myself lately. But I had a conversation because I was talking to my girl. And we were talking about the one in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, like that too. And I said that the issue is that it doesn't matter. Because one, I talked to two people about that because we were on something. We were talking about it. And then we're getting each other hyped. And then, you know, I'm talking to people, you know, that I used to work with. And, you know, I'm like, no, like this is wrong. And finally, a couple of them, I had to say, I have to agree to disagree with you because this is going nowhere. And I'm about to just straight out call you something that you know, we're both going to regret.
Right.
Not me, him. But and then she's all hype and she's going off of like she's murking people on freaking Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. She's like, fuck you. She's murking people because like we're hyping each other up and then she's like bah, 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 bah. And I'm like, oh, and you like that too. And I'm like, no, you need to say this. And then she goes back and so like we're like it's two minority, and the thing is, two minorities in the car on and driving to Indiana, so there's nothing else to do except mark back. So we're like, it's bad, but and her point was, if this guy was so a threat, why did he wait till he got to his car to shoot him? Why go up to him? Why do?
You could have just. It was two big grown men that shot him. And y'all had at least 2 to 3 other officers there.
No,
like,
and
just tackle them. Just tackle them.
We were talking about that, but it's like, if you were that afraid of this dude, why wait till he got to his car to be like,
shoot him in the back?
Yeah, the guy shot him in the back point blank. He was holding on to him and shot him. Yes. So I'm like, but we were talking about that, and that's the thing. They have all these things to protect them, and they're still doing the wrong thing. And now they're trying to say, and now they're saying, oh, he had a knife, and people were literally telling me that it's because adrenaline. That's why he shot him 7 times. And I'm like, and it's like, oh, well, he needs to comply. I'm like, no. I'm like, fine. And that's the thing. Like, people, they get upset because I'm not saying, and the thing is, we get upset because you're saying every black person's a bad person. So that's why, so that's why minorities or not even black people, this is why minorities get upset, because you always use the example when a minority does something wrong. See, a minority doing something wrong. This is why the cops are this way. But like, no, 1, that's crap, because not every person is like that. 2, dude was walking to his car, and I tell people, the way they shot him, that's like saying you and I, we get in a fight outside of work. Mm-hmm. So you're going to your car. So I'm like, I don't know what you have in your car, so I'm going to shoot you in the back. I'm like, I'm not getting self-defense. I'm not getting enough of self-defense. I'm getting man minimum. I'm probably going for murder, but I'm at least getting manslaughter.
Yeah, very minimum.
And there was like, but the cops able to do that because of what? I'm like, did he see it? Like, well, no, he didn't know what was in the car, so that's why, and that's the point. And he's like, oh, if he complied, he would have been alive. I'm like, George Floyd, like, he had no choice but to comply, and is he alive right now? No. So you can't say that he'd be alive or not, or not paralyzed, because that's the thing. Maybe if he complied, he might not have been paralyzed. He might be dead.
Yo, they handcuffed a paralyzed man to a bed.
No, I know.
I said, where's he going? Where he's paralyzed?
No, because
that's he can't go nowhere, and he has 7 holes in his back.
Yeah, because they want to put that perception. So when you see it, is he's the bad guy to make sure that they feel right, and that's why I'm talking to people, and they're trying to justify everything. They're like, he has a right to defend himself. I'm like, yes, he does, but it's like, okay, this guy. No show of force. They're like, well, they try to tase him. I'm like, okay, did they try to? So I'm like, do you know what could go wrong with the taser? If you shoot it wrong and only one prong gets you, it doesn't complete the circuit and it doesn't work. Did they tackle him? No. Did they do this? No. Did they use another taser? No. So it's like they did, and that's why, like, I get really, really upset. And that's the thing. It's like, even if you, and that's the thing. I try to feel for them. I really, really do, because I'm like, okay, I understand that situation can never happen to you, but like, let me put it in perspective. When you get pulled over for speeding and they run your background check, where are you? They're like, oh, I'm in my car waiting. Like, when I get pulled over for speeding, I'm on the side of the road with my car in handcuffs while they run me. And then they say, okay, you're good to go. And I'm like, how is that? And that's what, and then I'm like, you know me. You know I don't do anything like that too. You guys know me. How is that fair? And then it finally starts to kind of sort of click. But they try to say, oh, maybe you might have done something like and then that's like, oh, you did something wrong also. You were also speeding. And that's what it's like. No, unfortunately, they treat people in different ways, and 1, you have to realize that, and 2, their standards and procedures should be uniform, and they're not. And that's why, and the thing is, and that's where I'm going for the head, because even like I try to start going to, for local PD stuff, for talking to them, for community relations, and it's like, no, why are you guys allowing this. And like, oh, we're not allowing this. I'm like, no, but your culture allows it to be in there. So maybe you're not allowing it, but you're not stopping this. So then it's like, okay, what are you doing to stop this behavior? And so back to our subjects, it's I feel like they're throwing this on there. Not I don't think they're trying to do it to protect the officers on the raid. They're trying to do it to protect the top.
Right.
Because unfortunately, for stuff like this, it has to go uphill because these people are, and I can't say, and the officers that do these wrong things, unfortunately, it sounds weird to say it, they are victims of a culture that not even allows them to do this, expects them to do it this way for one reason or another. And now, for some reason, that is standard procedure because we saw it during the civil unrest riots all across the country, where curfew's over by a minute, and now now these officers are throwing smoke and shooting rubber bullets because they're taking a shortcut, you know. And so somehow all this stupid crap became the standard, which means up top needs to get changed.
Right.
And I feel like they're closing ranks, not to protect the people on the bottom, because like I said, they're finding out that they're expendable. They're trying to save the top people. So even if this goes through, because now they have it in their head that, oh, maybe she was a bad person. This is why they did it. This is why this. They have an evidence. And now they're going to try to put everything on Breonna Taylor, saying, unfortunately, trying to say that she deserved to die because she was a bad person. And that's not the case.
Yep. Yep. And then they'll get hit with the family can then sue them for different defamation.
The defamation, defamation. But the problem is, even when you counter to that, it's too late because the damage has already been done. No one reached the second part, and with all that going on, the people up top, they'll still at the time then they'll retire with their full pension. They'll do something like that too. Everything stays the same, and that's why I really believe that they are trying to protect the people up top. Like I don't even think it's below the it's not about the people like on the ground anymore.
Yeah. What's so sad is they even I think it was Tennessee? I think Tennessee made it where if you protest like on certain people's property, like it's a felony now.
Yeah.
It's a full-blown felony. I'm like, when in the history of America could you not go to your representative's house and go, yo, we don't like the job that you're doing.
Yeah.
We go to the mayor, we don't like the job. That is the most American thing about America, is to be able to go to that person and go, yo, we don't like the job that you're doing. You need to do this differently or we voting you out.
Yeah.
That's literally what used to happen. Like people got pissed off at Benjamin Franklin. I forgot what it was. It was something with Benjamin Franklin. He did something. And when I kid you not, whatever city he was living in, all the people pulled up to his crib, towards his outside, and he had to go out on his balcony in the middle of the night and explain why, because they were pissed off.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like I feel, and I don't know if it's because of the new generation. I don't know. And it feels like some of these people, they're getting more sensitive that they don't want to be held accountable. And that's the part where it's like, and this is why people, when they go to different avenues of protesting at sporting events to, rioting because now it's like, can you hear me now? Because if I give you the choice, listen to me, you don't want to. I have to make you listen. I have to ruin your day. I have to go do this. I have to go do that. Instead of saying, hey, you know what, we got a bunch of people, this is our issue, this is what's happening, and now people are so quick to be like, and they want to assume it. And that's what people don't realize. Like I tell people all the time, it only takes 5% of the police department to ruin your perception of the police department.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and you have to understand, it's like, and that's the thing. I was in Utah when George Floyd happened. I was there. I went to the Capitol building because it happened, and this is when all the riots broke out and everything too. I was in Utah. I was in the Capitol building, and if you've been to Salt Lake City, it is freaking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the city, you see the Capitol building, mountains right behind it too, right? And like I say, and I guess that's the difference between a cop and an officer, because this police officer came up to me, and maybe it's for some time like that too. And he wasn't like, and he came up to me and it's like, hey, he's like, there's a curfew in effect. And I'm like, oh yeah, sir. Like I know. And I'm like, what time does it start? Because I'm thinking it's starting soon. He's like, no, our curfew is from, it started on Friday night, and it's going until Monday morning. And I was like, oh, I had no idea. Like, I'm so sorry. I just came from California, you know. And he's like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, it happened for this, like that too. He's like, it's like we had a National Guard out over doing this over here. But he talked to me. He's like, oh, it's like if you're coming to visit, if you're visiting, the curfew is only affected in downtown, or not downtown. It's only affected in Salt Lake City. If you want to go see some stuff, you want to go mountains, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here. He gave me a place that I could go eat. Because like, oh, you're from California, you can't eat inside. So over here you can. That was a good police officer. He went over there, and it was weird because I was like, okay, why is this guy walking over to us? But like, gun not unstrapped. He had his officers out there too, you know. But he came and he talked to me. It's like, hey, what's going on? By the way, he's like, he didn't come up to me like, you're breaking curfew, blah blah blah. Get on like that. No, he's like, hey, just you know, he's like, hey, did you know this? And that's kind of how I correct people at work. When I correct people at work, I don't try to go say, hey, like that too. I'm like, hey, do you know about this? And that's how he came to me. And he's like, hey, do you know? He's like, did you know there's a curfew in effect? I'm like, oh. And then he listened to me, and I said, oh yeah. So I'm like, what time? He's like, oh, the curfew started from here to here, so it's still in effect during the daytime too, down here. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he listened to that. Yeah, and he listened to my explanation, and he listened to my explanation, and then he went and solved it, and he went and solved the issue. Mm-hmm. There was no demeaning, derogatory remarks. There was no that, and that's what I mean. So now, like when I go to Salt Lake City, that's what I think of the police department, you know. And I guess apparently that might happen more often than not. But the thing is, people don't realize it's like when you say, oh, so when we go and people talk about police officers, we're not talking about the whole department, because I'm pretty sure there are bad eggs in the Salt Lake City Police Department as well, too. But when we complain about stuff about any police department, we're not saying that we're not. It's not a blanket statement of all officers, because right there was a very good officer, and he happened to be white. His partner was cool too. I think his partner said some words also, but he came up to us, and that's how he addressed us during the time where apparently they were rioting freaking beforehand, like the night before.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. So he had a long night, and he was still like, and he probably when he saw us there, he's probably like, oh crap, what do these freaking people want right now? But he brushed it off, and it was literally like almost like, hey, how can I help you? Yeah. You know, and that's what it was. It wasn't like, oh, I'm putting you in custody right now because you're breaking curfew or you're doing this. It's like, hey, did you know about this? And that's how and that's how it is.
Yeah, which goes a long way. Like, and I think a lot of times, if officers were more like that officer or whatever, like it goes along. It changes everything. Like even if you're at like small scale, like even if you're at McDonald's, and the person that's taking your order got an attitude, like it's gonna change how you react to them, because you be like, what did I do? Now you giving an attitude back to them, and now y'all having a whole altercation. You know what I'm saying? We just see it on Facebook and YouTube and World Star where, you know, and like all of a sudden now they brawling in McDonald's over a Big Mac. Like it could have been easily solved. All he wanted was a Big Mac and a large Coke. Like, bam. You could have easily got that man up out of there without having a fight. It could have just said, like, hey, how can I help you? Boom. Oh, I want a number one. Hold the fries. I don't want no fries. I just want the drink and the burger. Okay, great. Boom. They bring you out your burger. They give you a cup. You pour your drink. You out. Yeah. Whole thing goes differently, and it's just about professionalism. Like, give people the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
You can't approach everyone as if they're a bad person, because sometimes that person is just having a misunderstanding, and maybe if you explain it to them, it's like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that. I could do that differently. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll go over here. You know what I'm saying?
And exactly, and that's what it was, because for the curfew, I was 100% in the wrong. You know, so they could have arrested me, and you know, I would have to like the stand out except saying, hey, I didn't know or I misunderstood. But that's the thing, he knew about that and was all like, hey, you know, let's fix this. So it's a good situation for everybody, because I'm pretty sure he didn't want to have to arrest anybody. I know I didn't want it to be, you know, taken to the courthouse, you know, for something like that too. So it's like, hey, by the way, just so you know, this is what's going down. And I was like, oh, thank you, sir. And he's like, oh, but if you want to see like that too, and he's like, oh, and then he even said, he's like, welcome to Utah, you know. And even when he left too, and so it gave me a really good, you know, I guess, you know, a feeling about it, and just, you know, interaction when it could have been, and that's the thing. And I was like, because I had like a couple more hours into my plane left too, so I could have been like, mad for like the rest of the day. But that's why even now I still talk about that, and honestly I wish I had his name, So just because I would go and freaking talk to a District of Utah guy and say, hey, just so you know, during the times where he was on heightened awareness, probably stressed out, no sleep, he still went above and beyond, and he was a police officer. He wasn't a cop. He wasn't like that. He was a police officer, and and he did really, really good. Yep. Especially with all the circumstances too that was going on too. Because that's the thing. Even now, and even some of the officers, during that time dealing with civil unrest, like if they're going off the handle, can't really blame them because with everything that's going on. But that's when you definitely know the ones who really go above and beyond with the situations and still doing great things. They deserve to be, recognized.
Right.
See? Not everything bad, but yeah. But back to your thing.
Yeah, no. But I mean that's a good place. That's really a good place to end it in the conversation in totality. That's a really good place to end it, and this is a good stopping point. You know what I'm saying? I do appreciate Kevin for coming on. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah. Even though you're not here, Alex, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, for showing up and coming on.
Oh, I said no. I'm gonna try to get there every week, so I can, or at least every other week, at least. So just so maybe you can have like a rotating chair, but just so I could be a more permanent fixture to.
Yeah, and that's the whole concept here. It's supposed to be a conversation, and people are supposed to be able to get up, leave, come back. It's almost like you've been at school, right? You've been at school and you're at the lunch table, right? And that's my concept in my head. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Somebody comes, they sit down at the lunch table, and you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's you and your friends, y'all having this conversation. They come, they join in because they hear. They're like, okay, boom, they join in the conversation. Great. Blah, 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 blah. They join in the conversation. Then one of your friends leaves, and then another friend leaves, and then it's just you and just people having a conversation. Then somebody else comes, and then somebody else comes, and then you know what I'm saying? Maybe you leave the conversation, and now there's more people, and everybody's just having this conversation, and the conversation just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
And it has fresh perspectives all the time, and that's what allows the conversation to continue to grow and go. And you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be so closed-minded as, you know what I'm saying, I don't bring other perspectives in. There are some other perspectives I want to bring in, but it's like some people are too argumentative and they're too focused on being right. Like I'm not in this to be right. It's like more of a journey of like truth and information. You know what I'm saying? Like
definitely. And that's why even for like everything going on right now, when I said, especially with all, I guess, the upheaval in the police department and everything, and that's why after I say like my piece of how I feel as a black man, as a minority, then I'm like, you know what? Let me take this out of it and put wrong is wrong, and that's why and I say I get certain things, and that's why I'm like, you know what? No matter what happened, and that's why that's how I kind of came to the conclusion as that sometimes it's not just about the people at the bottom doing the actions. It's up top allowing them to do it. And that's, like you said, because it wasn't about being right and wanting that instant, this person needs to hang, that I just sit back and think about it and be like, wow, you know what? Like, it is a big problem. Why is it this problem? Okay. And then I could go ask the questions, try to figure out things, and, and then seeing different things. And that's why I said with Breonna Taylor, that case itself, it's like they're protecting somebody. And it's sad that it's not even the person who did the people who did the actions. It's someone up that their life's not getting ruined at all, at least not to the extent, because now, like for us, we have to go Louisville Police Department. Let's go find out all the people who work there, and maybe it's this guy, and that's the point. But that's why I like that perspective. But on to next time, man. I do enjoy these.
Hey, remember, everybody. Oh, I did want to tell you, like right here on here. So there is an alpha episode and there's like a beta episode. There's 2 episodes that y'all have not seen. Okay. I finally came up with a format I'm comfortable with in releasing those videos. because I had to be very careful with how we were talking. We kind of talked a little bit more reckless in that first episode. I was listening to it, I was like, oh my God. I was like,
Well, that's why with this one I was even more careful of saying, like, because you noticed I was like, when I'm at work, when I'm at this, so I haven't said anything before.
right.
Oh,
I'm the same way now. Like, I'm like, okay, I know my parameter. I know how far I left. I know my left and my right now. So I can hang out now. I'm like, that first one, I was like, So
one day we get to get those, so we can make like a blooper reel and just put them in there.
No, so yeah, I'm gonna release those. But those are gonna come out. Like once I get the branding done and like I know the name that I want. I know the imagery that I want, like my own little logo and all that. I know what I want now. Like I know it in totality.
Yeah.
Which is why I described that pool table thing.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, once I get my trademark and all that together and all that, to where like then I'll start putting the audio up on like Spotify and Apple Music and SoundCloud and all that, where people can go listen. That's my vision and my goal, but I want it to be legal. I don't want my stuff I don't want any idea that I came up myself to be taken from me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, so, so definitely this video is going to go up. It's going to be unnamed. It's going to have the titles and all that. And just know, if you refer back to this episode in the future, it's going to be episode number 2. Like and subscribe to this channel if you like it. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. I haven't been saying that enough. Like and subscribe, okay? Like, I can't stress it enough. Like, all the people that watched the last video, thank you so much. Like, I didn't even really I didn't hard promote that video. I literally just dropped it in a few places and just let it work. And it worked. So I'm really happy and really thankful for everyone that watched that last video. This video will be up again, 7 a.m. Well, y'all gonna see it at 7 a.m. I don't know why I'm telling you it's coming out at 7 a.m. Like and subscribe, man. Like and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Yes. Like, comment, and subscribe. I can't stress it enough. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. It goes a long way. But yeah, so anyway, man. Y'all have a good one, and we out.
Have a